Join me. Together we can rule the galaxy far from sun.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Hello there, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and Trent Hoffman. You're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 139. Today, we're discussing episode 14 of Star Wars Bad Batch Season 2 and chapter 20 of Mandalorian Season 3. Lots of numbers, but that's okay. Unfortunately, my little buddy Trent can't join me today, but please catch us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Big T and Little T. We're playing Fortnite right now and just having a lot of fun with that. And you got to check us out there. We try to stream every weekend, and it's a lot of fun. All right, jumping right into our main topic, we got Tipping Point, and that is literally this episode. It's the 14th episode of second season. It aired on March 22nd. And yeah, plot summary or official description. New information has our heroes taking a dangerous mission. What? Here we go. So, really what we got here is just, we see 3 captured clone troopers, including Hauser, that are escorting above this kind of, I call it I think the official ship type is a Gazante class cruiser, but it's basically kind of that rebel ship that has the attached TIE fighters that we see in Rebels. It's kind of that in between Star Destroyer-ish, and we see a Mando too, which is kind of cool. But basically Echo and Nemec are 2 of the main clones, and they are going in for getting these clones out. So we have kind of this rescue mission with Echo, which is fantastic. And basically Echo gets in there, and of course, it's like Stormtrooper on Clone Trooper, and of course the Clone Troopers are using, stuns, and you got, it's great. It's fantastic, and essentially they are get the 3 Clone Troopers out, and then as they approach Pierce, who's the kind of the main, I don't know if he's a lieutenant or general, captain, maybe Captain Pierce. He does a suicide pill, which we've seen before again in Mando, and basically trying to understand where they're taking the clones. So essentially a Star Destroyer comes in with a squadron of V-Wings and tries to get Echo. Echo's trying to pull out information, but he's got to get out quickly, and they do. They get out as quick as they can, and they can jump to hyperspace, all that kind of stuff. And then we're back to Mount Tannis. Now, Mount Tannis is something that I feel like this is definitely a central focus of this story and where Bad Batch is going. I feel like this is all going to land here at the end of the season, but time will tell if I'm right, maybe not. But essentially we have Crosshair getting interrogated by Royce Hemlock, who's that creepy looking dude. He kind of, in this episode, he kind of almost got this like Darth Vader look when he's talking to Tarkin and all this jazz. But basically, he's torturing Crosshair we get the cool ITO interrogation unit. That is the big ball droid with the big syringe that helps. Essentially, Darth Vader uses it on his own daughter, Princess Leia, in A New Hope, and now it's front and center, using it against Crosshair. But so we get that interspliced, and so then we go back to Coruscant, and we're back at the Martez repair shop, and this is where Chuchi, I love saying the name, Senator Ryo Chuchi, is getting debriefed from the clones, and basically they know a little bit, but Hauser says, hey, there's other clones before me. They're shuttling us off world, and it's been several rotations, and we never saw them come back. And so we don't know where they're going, but we kind of do. It's Mount Tannis. It looks like this creepazoid dude, what's his name, Hemlock, is using them or something like that. So we go back again to Tannis, and now we have Hemlock's like little right hand person car, and she basically sets Crosshair free, and Crosshair's like kind of all doped up on medicine and stuff like that, and he doesn't kill her, stuns her, but basically grabs her key card trying to get out, and then then Raylock gets the jump on him, and is like this kind of neurotoxin or green toxin, we don't know. Hemlock essentially says, hey, I developed immunity to it, but not you. And so he passes out. Now they're back on Pabu, and then Echo shows up, and now, well, right before that, we have Tech giving driving lessons to Omega, which is super fun, in the Marauder, and we have kind of like a daddy-daughter. They're like, it's like three dads and Omega, and so we have Tech doing driver lessons, and so we kind of there's one little thing that she does called the Tech turn, which is fun, and then Echo shows up, and they're like, we'll race you to the rendezvous point or the landing pad, and so they meet up with Echo, and in this then we flash back to Hemlock, and just essentially Hemlock talking to Tarkin and saying, I'll take care of everything, blah, 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 blah. And the key is Omega. And now we're back to Pabu and Echo and Hunter. Again, they're trying, Echo, Hunter, and they're talking about, can they have some space here? Can they live outside of that? And Echo's like, hey, maybe you can. I don't know, but there's still some definite stuff going on. And so they say that they know that the transport that they hijacked is assigned to the Advanced Science Division, and it's headed by Dr. Hemlock. That's what they know. And so they're asking why they're transferring Omega's basically asking why they're transferring clone prisoners to him. They just don't know. There's no record of that, a previous mention or transferred to the science division. But then before Crosshair kind of gets knocked out by the toxin, he sends this kind of SOS, and the message is the Plan 88, the Seeker, and Crosshair's warning Hunter that it's a trap, and Wrecker's like, well, how do we find out, and so we go back to Wayland one more time, or Mount Tannis, and Hemlock is essentially saying, hey, you need to get Omega, and that is what he's going to do. So, but Crosshair's like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then we get a little bit more torture. Yay, end episode. So, there's some really good bits here. There's a fun bit where, like, Wrecker is fishing, and he's got a giant fish, and there's Wrecker chasing Omega and playing hide and seek, and it's like Wrecker's definitely enjoying the island life. There is a lot of just fun. I really liked the beginning of the whole episode with the kind of rescue mission that looked really cool. It looked great. It was fun kind of seeing that action. So yeah, a lot of great bits here. I really do feel, obviously, Omega's the key here. We don't know what it is. I said this last week, I'm going to say it again. I really do feel like this is tying into Mando in some way, understanding the importance of Grogu and the cloning. I think they're setting the breadcrumbs or trying to write the way for the First Order and all the cloning and Snoke and Emperor Palpatine and the whole bit. It's right there. I don't know if they're gonna show the Palpatine, but I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I don't know. It's something. There's definitely some tie-in here. They're paving the way here. But there you have it. It's a great episode. It really does. It's right in their title, Tipping Point. We're going on the back half of the last couple episodes as we come to exciting conclusion. Should be fun. I'm super excited for it, but I'm interested to see, are we going to know the fate of everybody, or is it going to be somewhat of a cliffhanger? I don't know. I don't think they're renewing it for season 3, so we got to know what Omega is the key for, and what does that mean from cloning perspective, and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay, moving swiftly along, we have Chapter 20, The Foundling. Also, this was released on March 22nd. I can't believe we're getting 2 great episodes of Star Wars, but we are, and that's what's happening here. So this is directed by Carl Weathers. Apollo Creed, making it happen. Grief Karga, it's awesome. Writers are both credited with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Again, timeline 9 ABY, so 9 years after Battle of Yavin. And this is the 4th episode, or the 20th episode here. And so, yeah, official description is Din Djarin returns to hidden Mandalorian covert. Okay, lots to discuss here, but let's start off with Grogu sits around a bunch of stones, and the stones turn into stone crabs. Oh my gosh, this is great. Fun fact, we finally broke down this weekend, and Little T now has hermit crabs. He's talking about hermit crabs forever. And in fact, on Fortnite, his favorite backpack is like a little hermit crab, and he calls him Gary. And so we have 3 new hermit crabs: Gary, Kermit, and Grievous. So Trent, definitely, when we get him back on here, he will be talking about his hermit crabs. We're super excited for that. Yeah, so much fun. So, and then Ellie also we got 2 guinea pigs, Rose and Daisy. So our family grew by 5 this weekend. So yeah, Little T and Little E will definitely talk about that soon. But anyways, it's funny because when we're watching this, he's like, "Oh, Dad, they're like hermit crabs." So there's these stones all around Grogu, kind of in a circle, and they were little crabs, and it's just so much fun. I love seeing that part. But here we are, the covert just blowing up ammunition like it's nobody's business, and it was fun. But so we see the kids kind of fighting, and we see a bunch of different people doing different things. Like, it's basically they're just blowing up stuff and having a great time. And so Ragnar, the Paz Vizsla's son that we pretty much know is his son, and so they have this fight now. On WSTR, I called this out. I said, "Look, I think Ragnar and Grogu are gonna fight." I thought it was going to be a bigger, meaningful fight, but here's a fight nonetheless. And so they hook up Ragnar and Grogu with training darts, and they got 3 shots. So it's pretty much like paintball or whatever, paintball gauntlets or something. And so Ragnar gets them twice, and then, Din's like, yo, I know what you can do your thing. And he does a flippy flip and drops 3 darts right on Ragnar, and Grogu wins for the win. So yeah, that was super cool. It was super fun seeing that. pretty much right after, this creature grabs Ragnar, and it's like, I don't know, it's a giant reptile looking creature, and they take off, and they're like, so I kind of like this and kind of don't. They just take off, and they're on their jetpacks, and they kind of know where they're going, and then they just like lose fuel, and it's like, what? I don't know, it just seems weird. But then Bo comes in and essentially is flying after the dragon, and it's a pretty cool visual. It's got like the sun going after the, like there's a sun shot. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so they just kind of do their thing, and then they essentially come back, and Bo's like, hey, I mapped it out, I know they're at, we have to take a ship, but we can't go in there. And then we get this kind of, how can I put it, we get this flashback. We get a flashback of the forge. So Grogu comes in, and Armor's like, hey, take a seat and let's talk about what you did. And so as the it's kind of like a press, I guess it would be a press that's pounding in the metal of the Beskar and all this kind of stuff. And of course, we're back to the siege of the Jedi Temple. We got the 501st, voiced by our boy Taron Morrison, doing his thing. And man, what an awesome thing. There's a lot of speculation about who the Jedi is, and it's none other than Ahmed Best, Jar Jar Binks as Kelleran Beck. And yes, this is the same Jedi that was in the Jedi Temple challenges on YouTube for the kids show. This is such a cool tie-in, and honestly, it's probably my favorite scene. I just love that they give this huge hero moment to Ahmed Best. Well deserved. I was just so happy to see this scene. And essentially, we get to see kind of again the full picture of the troopers entering the base. They're trying to get Grogu out. Grogu gets into an elevator, and then as he gets out of this elevator, then there is Kelleran Beck, and he's taken out the 501st. Bada bing, bada boom. Then he jumps on the speeder, and then he gets chased by Republic gunships, and they're just firing like it's nobody's business. Oh my gosh. We get to then they take a train tunnel, and it goes right past Umate, which is again the largest earthly structure in or earthly mountain in Coruscant. Shout out to Ralph McQuarrie again. Great little visual, and again we got to see that last week with Dr. Pershing, all that fun stuff. But they get to a landing platform, and we get to see another Naboo cruiser, and the Royal Naboo security forces are there, and they're like, yo, 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 we got your back, and get out of here. So Beck takes off with Grogu, and the 501st are just tearing up the Naboo guards. Now, again, it's kind of hard to tell because it's pretty much the same ship that Padme took off of. So at first it's like, wait, is Padme there? But it seems like there's still some Naboo contingent there, and maybe they're Jedi friendly. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because, again, at this time, is it, I think Padme's taking off at this time to go to Mustafar. Actually, it's after. But so they have two Naboo ships because she doesn't leave until after, because it's Anakin that storms the temple with the 501st, and so that is what we're seeing from a different angle. So Anakin comes and sees Padme, And, yeah. So it's after. Right. Okay, great. I had to walk that through my brain there. It was kind of hard. But anyways, we finally get to see that. And so now the armor shapes this huge metal circle with the clan mud horn, and it fixes to his chainmail. So now, yes, we have chainmail and a mesh thing. Well, the chainmail, and now this big old tire. It basically covers his whole chest of the clan mud horn. So we got that, and now we have Bo and contingent. They make a camp at the base of the mountain, and Bo says we have to go up the mountain quietly in the morning. So we have this little campfire thing, and then because Bo is leading the war party, she gets to stay at the campfire, and they have this kind of isolated meal. Weird, but okay. I guess Bo's into this with the whole thing. But in the morning, they use grappling hooks and kind of climb up the side of this mountain. They get to the top. They see the nest of this creature, and they then does a little scan, a little predator action, sees some thermal, and oh yeah, they're over there. Visual just runs right in there and basically wakes up the babies. There's 3 raptor thingerbobs there, and then the big mama comes and is about to drop Ragnar in their mouths. And now we have this whole thing where they're just chasing after the creature, and they're all using jetpacks and grappling hooks and blah blah blah, and it's great. They have this kind of fight, and Bo kind of takes lead, and you can see that she loses the Paldron in this fight, but eventually they get the upper hand, and then Din does his thing and gets the cables wrapped around the raptor's body and saves the kid, and then the creature's kind of in pain and kind of spirals a little bit, does this kind of like little death spiral, and oh yeah, dinosaur, snapping turtle, teenage mutant ninja turtle dude, cowabunga bro, gets the upper hand and takes in this creature. It's very Jurassic Park, but that's okay. It's all good. And Ragnar is reunited with Paz, and there's a little bro hug, a little daddy son hug, and yeah, this is the way. Bada bing, bada boom. You got recovered. So they go back to the covert. Everyone's happy as Ragnar empties out with his Walmart version of his Mando armor. He just basically looks like he's wearing a Walmart thing. Whatever. It's all good. I understand. It's like trainee weapon, whatever, armor or whatever. And so they have this little thing, and then they brought the armor a present. Yes, they lured the 3 raptor chicks into the ship, I guess. I mean, how big is Bo's ship? I don't know, but it's bigger than... So I have the Lego version of the gauntlet from the Clone Wars. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not as big as they show in the show. So maybe Bo's got like a supersized gauntlet with a little docking bay or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, she's got a big old ship because in the last week's episode, we had R5 and, or was that 2 weeks ago? I don't know. R5. We had R5, Grogu, and her in her little cockpit area, and it was much bigger than your normal kind of like 2-seater gauntlet. So I think she's got a supersized gauntlet, whatever thing. And so at the end, Armor's like, hey, I know you're missing Paldron. Why don't you come back to the forge? And so she's asking what she wants. Bo sees, it's kind of like getting a tattoo, you know? It's like, let me see what I want. I don't know. she sees the mythosaur skull on the wall, and Armor's like, that's perfectly acceptable. Anyone can wear the mythosaur. And she basically says the mythosaur belongs to all Mandalorians. So Bo kind of comes out. She's like, I saw a mythosaur, and it's a noble vision or whatever. And she clarifies, no, it's real. And then Armor just says, this is the way. And Bo's staring at the skull on the wall, and then we get to see the mythosaur kind of pauldron. It's kind of a little bit more sleek, and I don't know, a little sleek version and stuff like that. But Armor's hard to read. It's like, well, did you know that there's a mythosaur at the bottom of the well, or you just think it's something cool? I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, I just want to see a mythosaur for real, none of these other creatures. But we got the Snapple turtle, we got this flying raptor thing, or flying dragon thing. I just want to see a mythosaur. Let's do this thing. Yeah, it was a pretty decent episode. Not the best, not my favorite, but not bad. I think Carl Weathers really enjoys working in this medium. And it's funny that we didn't see any Navarro in his episode, or him for that matter. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And maybe that's done on purpose because, it is hard to direct and act and do all those things. But I thought he did a really good job. I thought there was fun. There was a lot of action in this episode. And yeah, it was pretty cool. But again, we got to figure out more than just these creatures and stuff like that. We're getting a little bit, but definitely need to understand where this Mandalorian thing is going. Like, what does it mean to be a Mandalorian? Is it just this Death Watch? Are there more Mandalorians? That's kind of what I'm more interested in. I'm glad. The highlight for me is seeing Ahmed Best and doing his thing as Beck, and that was super cool. I think that was really super, super fun. So yeah, there you have it, man. Another official episode in the bag, episode 139 of Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Hey, you can catch us on the socials, Big T Little T podcast on Instagram, BLILT podcast on Twitter, twitch.tv, Big T Little T. Hey, we got stickers. We want to hear from you. So comment, rate, tweet us on Apple or tweet us your rating or your whatever. And, we'll like to throw some swag at you. So if you like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. We'd love to read that review on an upcoming episode. Big T Little T podcast at gmail.com is where you can drop us that. Or if you have a question or where you think Bad Batch or Mando's going, or you like it, what you don't like, all that kind of stuff. We want to hear it all, man. So next time, episode 15 and chapter 21. There might be some C2E2 coverage that is coming up this weekend for us Chicagoans and whoever traveling in. So C2E2 is this weekend, Friday 31st through the 2nd. So 31st, 1st, and 2nd. We are super, super duper excited for that. So Trent and I are going. In fact, little secret here, not too secret. I got the Stormy going here and did some work on it this weekend and got it dirty. So we're going a little more dirty, not clean. So in the costuming world, the stormtroopers are shinies, which are just basically the pure white, nice little thing. What we see, presentation mode on the old Imperial Star Destroyer, you're wearing your best, whatever. I decided after about 5 years now, it's like, yeah, I'm moving towards a Sandy, which is a stormtrooper in the 501st. But right now I'm a heavy stormtrooper because I did the backpack recently. And so going to debut a little dirtier version of the stormtrooper this weekend, and super excited for that. So hopefully Trent's going to dress up as a Jawa for a little bit as well. So we're going to have a lot of fun at C2. So come check us out. If you're going to C2, definitely check us out. We'll try to be handing out some stuff and maybe ask a Star Wars question or something like that. So yeah. Now nope, that's not it. Scratch that. Here we go. Truly wonderful the mind of a child is, and may the Force be with you always. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hello there, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and Trent Hoffman. You're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 139. Today we're going to be discussing episode 14 of Star Wars Bad Batch in season 2 and chapter 20.